Tonight we're going to be doing, this is a 14-pound turkey. So the one thing you always remember about turkey is that for every pound, it takes 15 to 17 minutes to cook. Now, it says 15 to 17 minutes because, you know, everybody's body's different. Same thing with the turkey. Some lobes are going to be bigger than others. Some muscles are bigger. So what you're going to do, and I'll show you a technique to be able to check that tonight. So the very first start is we're going to do our prep. So our prep for the turkey is going to be what they call or consider a mirepoix. In French cuisine, mirepoix is celery, onions, and carrots. Okay, so and they're normally diced. So if you want to peel your carrots real quick, cut off the ends of your celery so that we can throw those away. While she's peeling that, you guys can actually take your celery, cut it in half, and then dice it from there. Okay. Now you want large dice. Let me show you a technique real quick. Okay. So especially for things that roll, you never want to put it on the end that rolls. You roll it to, yeah, and now you got a steady stand. Okay, and so then just, okay, and then like when I say, you know, a good large dice, you know, there's no such thing as like you cut it to the size that you're used to doing it. That's basically what we're going to work down to. If you guys like to save money at home while you're cooking and stuff like that, a lot of the scraps that you save from your vegetables, if you know that you're going to be, you know, using quite a few vegetables at home or whatever, anything like celery or carrots or anytime you shave any, you can save them and make stalks out of them. You can throw it in a little pan of water. You can take the stalks. You can freeze it, pull it out when you need it. Very healthy way of doing it, and you can save yourself money. So especially if you're like cleaning chicken at home, it's a really good way if you save the fat and then you can make a really nice chicken stock at home and save yourself money that way as well. And homemade's so much better than buying it in a can or whatever. You have actually longer ones. I would typically, anything that's longer, I would definitely cut it in half, okay? So if you guys remember, we did the stand when I was showing you guys how to hold and cut last week. Yeah. The ones that were here. For you guys that are new, this is called, and this is the safest way to cut, and it's called tucking the thumb. Okay, so your thumb is actually going to be behind your fingers, and it's going to hold the piece that you're trying to cut from rolling. Okay, so what you're basically going to do is going to sit there and slice it in half. Okay, so it keeps it from rolling. Did you see that? Yep, you got it. Now rest it against you. Yeah, exactly. And take your time. You don't have to go fast. You'll get used to it eventually. There you go. And then, like professional chefs, what we normally do is we stand it on end and slice down. It's so much easier that way. So, yeah, and it's definitely like that way. You're like, because everybody's like, oh, they're scared it's going to roll and cut, and it's a very valid, because that's usually what happens. So we'll cut it in half, dice this as well, and then finish up the onion. We'll dice that as well. Okay. However you want to do it at home is perfectly fine. When you're doing a turkey, you need to have a towel is patting the turkey dry, and there's several reasons why. First off, it sits in these bags, and it sits, well, basically it sits in its own, stews in its own juices. So you want to make sure you get that in there, because that's flavor, you know what I mean? Any amounts of flats of the fats or proteins add into or for layering, proper layering. Okay, so after you have that in your baking pan right close by, okay? You're gonna take the towel that you have ready, and you're gonna pat your turkey dry. Also, if you buy a turkey that doesn't have one of these, you make sure that you want to tie the legs together for uniform cooking, okay? Because it'll basically what's going to happen is that will make it all cook evenly, because if not, the legs are going to flop out and open wide, and then these are going to be done and over dried, and these are going to be like not even close to done. You're going to remove the gizzards, which this one's actually still frozen in here, but So you want to throw that into the pan, again, more flavor. So always remember, a lot of people forget that they open the top flap or and that's where you're gonna find the paper. Okay? And that'll be, yeah, it's right where the neck is. It'll be stuck, and then that's how they're doing it nowadays. So I actually don't throw the giblets in. Here's the reason why. Liver and giblets are really, really, really strong flavor, and they can become predominant through the broth when you're making your turkey gravy. Now, if you want giblet gravy, then add it in. If you don't want giblet gravy, then throw it away. I typically don't make giblet gravy, so I throw it away. You're going to be adding, and first off, when you wash off, anytime that you add water back to proteins and stuff, you start washing away blood proteins. Blood proteins translate into caramelization, which is that really nice brown topping you'll get. If you add more water to it, it's going, not only is it going to take your process longer, it's going to take your coloration away from your turkey. We're going to take the turkey and we're going to hit it with oil. So you're going to put the oil on. What that's going to do is it's going to help the salt, pepper, and thyme and rosemary to adhere to the bird. But also, I put down on your recipe fresh. Tonight we're going to be using dried. You can use dried. Just use a third less than you would with the fresh, because dried is a little bit stronger. It's more potent. So you're basically going to hit the oil in and rub it in, just like doing a rub or marinade. If you're doing a marinade at home on your meats and stuff like that, make sure you open the wings and get inside there, and then push the wings back in. So the salt and pepper, you're not really going to worry about salting the bottom, and I'll show you why here in a minute, okay? Now, you use the salt to your liking, but I can honestly tell you guys that when you're going to salt only becomes a seasoning when it's overused. Before that, it's a flavor enhancer. It brings out the natural flavor. So you want to make sure that you use not less. You know what I mean? So like I said, we are doing the dried herbs tonight. I prefer the dried herbs because, I don't know, it just lends more flavor than what you can buy at, say, Market Basket or whatever. It seems like the herbs nowadays, especially ones that are mass produced, don't have the potency that they once did, you know? So. So the three main ingredients in all French cooking is butter, butter, butter. So at this point, you're going to throw your mirepoix into the roasting pan. Get that closer. Also, there is one thing that I never do, and this is a common thing throughout the United States. A lot of people will cook stuffing inside of the bird. Here's what you're actually doing with that whole situation. By putting the stuffing inside of the bird, you're pulling moisture out of the turkey into the center, because bread absorbs and swells, and then you go from there. So you don't really want to stuff it with that. What you want to stuff out. My grandmother stuffed it with apples. I stuff it with the mirepoix. That's why you're going to do like a little extra of the mirepoix. So what you're going to get is in the cavity is that is going to help permeate on the inside parts of the meat. And water, vegetables are actually 98 to 99% water, so they will actually add more juiciness to the turkey. So that's why I do the way I do it.